Colton Harris Moore. It sounds like the name of a patrician owner of one of these beautiful vacation homes out here in the San Juan Islands off the coast of Seattle. And while that's not true, Colton Harris Moore is well known around here, and he does sometimes occupy these lavish homes. In fact, just about all the locals know his name. And so do people who have never been to the San Juans, because, courtesy of the internet, 19-year-old Colton Harris Moore is famous. He has 2 different fan sites on Facebook. You can also buy a Colton Harris Moore hat, a Colton Harris Moore necktie, a Colton Harris Moore t-shirt, and there's a song about him.
It's a miracle, watch your back and fly on,
What's Colton Harris Moore done to attract all this attention? He's a thief. Police say a very busy one, committing dozens of burglaries of stores and homes, both lavish and modest. He's accused of stealing everything from cash to food to boats to small airplanes, which police say he learned to fly from a DVD and flight manuals bought with stolen credit cards. If you believe the local sheriff, he's prolific to the point of being a plague. Or if you believe his fans on the internet, Colton is striking a blow against the arrogance of the rich. What appeals to people about a guy who's a kind of a petty criminal?
I don't think that anybody can really say this guy's a petty criminal. He's an extraordinary criminal.
Zach Sestak heard about Colton Harris Moore and started a Facebook fan club. It quickly caught on, and Colton now has more than 20,000 Facebook fans from all over the world.
Some people say, Colton Harris Moore, I want to have your kids. Some people say, Colton Harris Moore, I hope you die.
But here's what everyone agrees on. So far, he can't be caught. Here on Dateline, we often bring you the stories of people who are career criminals. What's unusual in this case is that the criminal involved seems to have begun his career at such a young age. At 12 came his first conviction for possession of stolen property. By the time he was 15, he was accused of committing dozens more crimes, mostly theft. When cops tried to bring him in, he'd run. Once he left behind a note. P.S. Cops want to play, huh? Well, it's not no little game. It's war. Colton grew up on Camino Island, close to the San Juans, raised here mostly by his mom. Josh Flickner, who manages the family business Elger Bay Grocery, remembers Colton as a kid coming into the store.
I remember looking at him and him looking back at me, and I would see nothing in him that wanted to contribute. It was, what can I get that isn't mine?
You think you saw larceny in his eyes even at 8, 9 years old?
I believe that, absolutely.
In 2007, he was caught, convicted of 3 counts of burglary, and sentenced to 3 to 4 years in a minimum security facility. But in April of 2008, Colton escaped and has been out of the slam and on the lam ever since. Rob Piercy from NBC station King 5 in Seattle has been covering the Colton Harris Moore story for years, beginning with break-ins of vacation homes on Camino Island.
These weren't your run-of-the-mill style burglaries. And I think that it was the fact that you were talking about a teenaged kid that's out there breaking into these homes and continuing to get away with it.
Once, Colton evaded police by jumping out of a stolen Mercedes. Inside was a stolen camera containing this photo.
This doesn't sound like someone who's doing this to survive. This sounds like someone who's on a crime spree and who's good at it and who likes it.
At this point, it would appear that way.
Keep in mind that there are 2 societies out here. The moneyed summer crowd with their luxe homes and private boats. On the other side of the financial divide are those that live here year-round, blue-collar, working class, dependent on the tourist dollar. Colton Harris Moore belongs to the second group. And so does Marion Rathbone, who manages Vern's Bayside restaurant on Orcas Island. In 2008, Vern's was broken into, $12,000 taken from the safe. A year later came another break-in, this one caught on tape. Investigators say this is Colton. Marion doesn't see him as a folk hero.
He's a terrorist because he's made us all change our way of life.
Since that first break-in at Vern's, he's been suspected of stealing 4 small aircraft, 2 boats, and committing more than a dozen burglaries, at least one of which he's linked to by DNA evidence.
We lived here for a reason, and he messed with that severely.
What's the reason?
Sense of community, safety. It was typical Mayberry. You didn't lock your house, you didn't lock your cars.
And those days are over, courtesy of Colton.
Yeah. He's smart enough to know right from wrong. He just doesn't care.
Just before the start of the Vancouver Olympic Games, the 4th stolen plane skirted restricted airspace and crash-landed on Orcas Island. Had Colton relocated? Another store on Orcas was broken into. And this time, the suspect left behind giant chalk footprints, 39 of them, with a message.
Taunting.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
Proud of it and rubbing people's nose in it.
Multiple local and federal agencies haven't been able to find him, and neither could we. But we did find his former partner in crime.
My dream, what he shared with me, was having so much money that we could just bathe in it. You know, just throw it in a bathtub and bathe with it. Just money.
Bathe in it.
Yep.